Welcome back to the channel. So listen real quick. Here in the United States, when you turn 18, you can vote, serve on a jury, donate blood, sue somebody, change your name, move out is actually at the age of 16, but you can rent an apartment, get a full-time job, join the military. You have the authority to make your own healthcare decisions. You can be married. You can apply for a credit card. You can create a will, obtain a special driving permit. You can register for the selective services. That is mandatory by law. You can consent to your own medical care. You can open up your own bank account. You can get a tattoo without parental consent. Play the lottery in some places. And you have the right to enter into contracts. Now, why did I bring all that up? Because we're here to talk about what just came out of the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. Before we get too deep into this, guys, I just want to remind you that down in the description below is going to be a link to the merch store. Again, use Bonfire. We have some cool designs coming out shortly. You can always become a member here on YouTube, Patreon, or Locals. And at the very least, I just ask that you like, share this video, leave a comment, help me out with that algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you toggle that notification bell so you get an update every single time I put up a new video or I'm doing one of my Saturday Night Lives. All right, before I forget, remember we were running giveaways on this pink Glock grip from glockgrip.com? Well, the winner is Devlin Alvanado. You're the winner for pink. I know you put in the comment section you wanted pink. Boom. We put you in. You popped out. Now, how about the checkered one? The checkered one with a couple extra patches because McNasty just never reached out to me. The winner's going to be J SVlogs 47.3. I screwed that all up, but J Slogs 1473. I think that's it. I wrote it down. Guy, you won. You get the checkered one. So, guys, reach out to me. Prove you are who you say you are, and I will send them to you. No cost, guys. Free stuff. I will track you guys down in the comment section, and I will try and tag you and respond to you that you are the winner. All right, let's get into the meat of the story. So, yesterday, maybe the day before, depending on you watching this, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals came out with a decision dealing with handguns and anyone under the age of 21. Now, you may remember, I'll tag it up above me. Back in February, March timeframe, Connecticut had a lawsuit going to the Second Circuit, specifically dealing with this. And it was Zachary Suckow of Seymour and Samuel Town of Norwich. Both were seeking immediate and temporary and permanent injunction, barring the U.S. Attorney Pam Bondi and state officials from enforcing laws that prohibit 18 to 20-year-olds from obtaining a pistol permit, according to the court papers. Now, when this happened, A.G. Tong came out and gave his opinion. So A.G. Tong, Connecticut's Attorney General, called this lawsuit a radical challenge to the state laws. A.G. Tong also went on to say, and I quote, "Why are extremists so hell-bent on putting our children at risk? No one wants pistol-packing teenagers. This is another radical challenge to Connecticut's lawful and common-sense gun laws, and we will vigorously defend against it." End of quote. So we can see Tong, his stance on it. Obviously, we know Connecticut's overall stance on anyone under 21 owning a handgun, which really drives me nuts because, well, I hate to tell you this, but okay, that's the law. But all these little hood boogers that are running around that are teenagers with guns, obviously this law is not doing a damn thing because your little gangbangers from Waterbury, Bridgeport, New Haven, Hartford, things like that, they're not walking into your local FFL trying to get a pistol permit and then buying a handgun lawfully. No, these little teenage hood boogers are running around with stolen guns, no permits, and, well, we're not really enforcing the laws that we're supposed to be. But that's here in Connecticut. So what am I talking about? So 2 days ago, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals came out and ruled on a case called Reese versus ATF. The court ruled it is unconstitutional to have a law that bans or bars 18 to 20-year-olds from getting permits, handguns, and handgun ammunition. The judgment that was handed down to the plaintiff, Reese, and the Second Amendment Foundation as it standed in 2020. We'll kind of get into that. So it says the judgment is entered for the plaintiffs on count 1 of the operative complaint. 2, the court enters declaratory judgment and described in paragraph 3 below with respect to Caleb Reese, Joseph Granich, Emily Naquin, and individuals and federally licensed firearm importers, manufacturers, dealers, or collectors who were members of the Firearms Policy Coalition and the Second Amendment Foundation or the Louisiana Shooting Association at the time this action was filed on November 6th, 2020. That's why I gave you that 2020 date. So 3, the court hereby declares that 18 U.S.C. and their attendant regulations are unconstitutional and violate the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution to the extent those provisions prevent the sale or delivery of handgun or handgun ammunition by and to persons identified in paragraph 2 on account of the buyer being 18 to 20-year-olds. There you go. And then 4 talks about the ATF, agents, servants, employees, blah, blah, blah. Here's the kicker, though. And remember, guys, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals only deals with Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. It has nothing to do with Connecticut. We are under the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, which we all know is anti-gun. Very anti-two-way. So, the court says, now you gotta understand, normally when they do a case like this and there's some sort of injunction, right? You have your plaintiff, and then you usually have some sort of pro 2A group behind it that helps fund, supplies lawyers, things like that. So if you look at ours, like Grant v. Lamont, Grant, the individual, suing Lamont, okay? But behind Eddie's case is the CCDL. They're the ones paying the legal fees. They're the ones that are dealing with the lawyers. Eddie is just the individual plaintiff. And there were a few others, but Eddie Grant was at the top of that list. There were like 2 others, I think, involved in the case along with the CCDL. So joining these groups sometimes does pay off, guys. That being said, normally when they hand down judgments, normally it would be, hey, the plaintiffs, not a problem, they're covered, and members of like the Second Amendment Coalition or whatever it is. That's how it was with the brace ban, and that's how it's always been. But in this case, this particular case, the judge defied the norm and said, no. Only if you were a member on or prior to November 6th, 2020. So everyone that's a new member that joined, obviously, a couple of years ago, all the way up to today, you're not covered. How are they going to ensure your membership was prior to November 6th, 2020? Well, that's easy. The judge writes in this decision that within 21 days of issuance of this judgment, those plaintiffs identified in paragraph 2B shall provide to defendants a verified list of members as of November 6th, 2020. So the judge says, hey, members of the Second Amendment Coalition, members of the Firearms Policy Coalition, and members of the Louisiana Shooting Association must provide a detailed list of members from November 6, 2020 and earlier. This way, we know who's covered, including the 3 plaintiffs in the case. Now, immediately Firearms Policy Coalition, Second Amendment Foundation, and Louisiana Shooting Association came out and basically said emphatically, hell no, we are not providing you a list of any of our members, because we all know that as soon as you give a list of members to the government, well, you're going to be tracked, shoved into a database, and you are going to be, well, basically doxed or dimed out to Uncle Sam. And nobody wants that. So what are they doing now? Well, it's easy. FPC, Second Amendment Foundation, all those guys are launching a lawsuit basically saying, hey, we don't have to provide this to you and we shouldn't have to, so on and so forth. And we'll see where it goes. But they have come out and they have said absolutely no way are they providing lists to this court or to anybody else. Their membership list is private and will stay with them and not be traded or given away or sold, unlike NSSF here in Connecticut, where we just found out, well, they're selling your data, or at least buying your data from different companies like Glock and Smith & Wesson and all that, and then targeting you politically. Yeah. NSSF, guys. But that isn't another video. So right now, law of the land for Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas is that if you are 18 to 20, you have access to purchase handguns and handgun ammunition. Only if you're one of the plaintiffs or part of one of those associations, one of those groups. Other than that, it doesn't affect you. Does it affect us here? No. It has zero impact on us here in Connecticut. So what would be the next step? Well, simply it has to go to the next level. But with the state of affairs as it's been, Pam Bondi, our Attorney General, the ATF, and the DOJ have pretty much done a 180 when it comes to these gun cases. And they're no longer being super anti-gun. Now, the reason I bring that up is they might just accept this, and then that's the end of it. It's not going to go anywhere else, and they just wash their hands of it. We're good. Again, it only affects these small groups of people. It doesn't affect everybody. In order for us to have it affect everybody across the board, we all know the DOJ would have to appeal it up to the Supreme Court. Then you've got to hope for some sort of miracle that the Supreme Court, which is currently full of cowards outside of two justices, pick the case up, hear the case, and concede that, yes, banning anyone 18, 19, or 20 is unconstitutional. Then it would affect everybody. And we all know Connecticut would absolutely lose their damn minds. Because, well, just recently in the legislative session, they were trying to ban 18, 19, and 20-year-olds from getting long guns. Didn't go anywhere. You can be 18, 19, or 20, and you can get a long gun permit, and you can buy long guns, which would be bolt actions and shotguns, things like that. No ARs, though you can't have those. So that's what has to take place. Otherwise, again, doesn't affect us here. We'll see what happens. I will keep a close eye on this and see if it goes anywhere. It's a good start. It is heading in the right direction. I just wish it would affect all of us a little faster. It is what it is. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Do you think this is good? Do you think maybe 18, 19, and 20-year-olds are just, well, too young or too irresponsible to own handguns? Even though, according to Uncle Sam, it's perfectly fine. Because remember, we joined the military, they're going to give you an assault rifle, a handgun, maybe a bag full of explosives, and send you off to war to go do some warfighter stuff. But when you come stateside, the state where you live says, no, you're not responsible enough, which to me is insane. How can you get one thing at a one level, and then the state says, no, you're not responsible enough? That's absolutely insane. I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. Again, down in the description below will be a link for the merch store. Please buy some merch. Help support the channel. You become a member. Whatever you need to do simply liking the video is going to go a long way. Definitely subscribe to the channel. All right, that's it, guys. I will see all of you in the next video. Oh, hey, before I forget, real quick, don't forget, Saturday night, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be doing a live. And we got some really cool things we're going to chat about, some updates that we have. And before I forget, one last time, Devlin, you won the pink one. And Jay Slugs 1473, you won the checkered. Reach out to me, let me know, and I will get those out to you ASAP. I'll send you the tracking number, and you can track the whole thing. All right, that's it. Really, for sure, this is it. All right, I'll see all of you in the next video.